Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Metaworld News. This week we're bringing you our headlines for the week ending the 13th of January of the new year, whatever that is. Wow, 2019. I'm not that stupid. Okay, right.
Right.
Just pretending, making sure you realise how many of you have still forgotten what year you're in. I bet I'm not the only one. In fact, this year I'm not the one, if you see what I mean.
Oh yeah,
Let's
from
get,
time to time it gets me every now and then.
yeah, let's get on with this before I get more confused.
All right.
Right. Occasionally, I just go back 1 century. It's easier.
Hmm.
So, 1919. I mean, 2019. I mean, 13th of February. I mean, 13th of January. Right, stop fooling around. I'll get on with the news. Okay, you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com slash Malburns. That's Malburns. One word on Twitter, two words in organics. And we have an additional feed, which is twitter.com slash Metaworld News. Again, all one word, just like the title of this program. And Metaworld News has more stuff about immersive worlds and spaces. My personal feed has all sorts of stuff to do with computer interfacing and virtual reality as part of that sort of machinery, shall we say. And I'm going to start off by picking a few headlines from the Malbones feed. In fact, it is. So, starting 5 days or so ago. Well, no, I'm going to start 6 days ago. Because they're appearing. It's all in the wrong order here, so I don't know. Okay, Rockcliffe University are university over. Well, they're mostly in Second Life, though they have a library and some extensions in OpenSIM on the Avacon grid. Um, we will be letting you know a bit more about the Virtual World's Best Practices in Education conference, which is at the beginning of a few days into April. Fortunately, not including April the 1st, so you won't have to worry about that this time round. However, they are publishing an online journal. I think it's a PDF called the Journal of Virtual Studies, and they've had an editorial board call out, right, to see if you've got contributions and want to help with it. And you can find the post at urockcliffe.com. That's Urockliff, sorry, yes, Liffe.com. Urockcliffe.com. Also, 6 days ago, report. I haven't got the link showing on this one for some reason. I know it was retweeted quite a bit. Virtual reality may encourage emphatic behaviour. Nothing new there, but it's always worth keeping an eye on different posts reporting on all this stuff. The more mentions about the wonderful uses of virtual reality and virtual worlds, the better. Right, VOOC 6 AR smart glasses have arrived. If you have £1,000, I mean $1,000, which probably is £1,000 these days. Again, no link, and I think I mentioned that last week, so it doesn't give me
Yep.
the date. Finally, 5 days ago, that's definitely this week. Right, Audi. This is the people who make cars and petroleum guzzling things, right? Well, they should give up the petroleum first. But anyway, Audi's VR-based in-car entertainment turns your car into a, wait for it, spaceship. I think this is presumably for the kids in the back seat because it's a joint venture with Disney. But basically, I
Oh
guess I
my.
think it uses I think it uses the onboard cameras and stuff like that to detecting objects in front of you and stuff. And if it's the one I think it is, it sort of converts the objects in, so a stop sign will suddenly become a planet, and a turn left sign will become an asteroid, and that sort of thing. It converts the scenery perceived by the cameras into a spacescape, so that the kids in the back can pretend that they are driving the car, well, the spaceship, I should say, through the galaxy, marauding as kids are wont to do, whilst you up front have to drive the car and put up with them babbling about avoid that asteroid, sort of thing. Do I approve? I don't know. Do you approve? I'll hand that one to you. Okay, okay. Moving on. Oh, moving on or moving back. I think I did that a bit wrong. Sorry, folks. Right. Okay. I pressed the wrong button as I want to do now and again. Okay, this is what I want. Okay, 4 days ago now. That looks about right. Engadget.com, engadget.com. Somebody called Daniel Cooper reporting on B-Hop's VR gloves are ready to enter the virtual world. Yes, another. I mean, they're not the only gloves around. It's like new gloves, new shoes, and everything else. It's a bit like new helmets these days. I mean, is it worth reporting? I don't know, but for the moment, yeah, there aren't that many gloves around. B-Hop's version is designed to well, it seems to be designed to work with AR too. The how do you breach the divide between the reality and the digital world without going into the full lawnmower man mode? Um, and then in brackets, you never go full lawnmower man. I don't know what they're talking about here. Journalists sometimes go off on their own tracks, don't they? Including me.
Well, long ago,
Anyway,
Dan,
this.
that was that movie, and it was a very early VR depiction. And
Oh
the
yes,
thing always in
yes.
front of you was the hands, out in front of the character.
Yeah, I was referencing this thing in brackets that says you never go full lawnmower man.
Oh, I okay.
Yeah, I've got a double set of those on film. There's a Lawnmower Man 2, a follow-up 2, which in some ways is a bit better, I think, although a bit more less budget, I think. Anyway, they've got a smart fabric that can measure pressure and bend to create digital gloves and blah, blah, blah. The reason all this has come up, and there are quite a few feeds here this week. In fact, I better go quite fast if they're going to get displayed. Is that this week was CES, the Consumer Electronics Show in the United States. So lots of people are rolling up with things for consumers. Whether virtual reality gloves are exactly consumer products yet, I don't know, but presumably they will be. So they're at the show. Right, I did the emphatic behavior thing. We seem to have it twice. 3D Rudder's PlayStation VR controller is virtual freedom in your seat using your feet. Again, this is an annex. It seems to whether this works with anything other than the PlayStation VR. I'm not quite sure, but it's. I'm gonna quickly zoom in here. Probably because James will be able to get you a larger blow up of the picture if it loads. Windows, it's called load, please, thank you. And no excuse for the bandwidth here. Yeah, you can see a picture there anyway. And no, I don't want a pop-up video. Damn it, there are problems with this display system, as you probably gather. Right, as you can probably see, it's a sort of disc on the floor, and the kids. Is it a kid or is it I don't know. It's an adult, a kid, or even a woman. Anyway, um, the feet are resting on the disc, and you can tilt it from side to side and forward and back and stuff. So it's a bit like one of those 360-degree cursor things, except your feet rest on it. I haven't actually seen that kind of foot implement before. We've got treadmills and things, and we've got multi-direction treadmills, and we've got VR shoes and all sorts of things. But that seems to me quite convenient in the sense that you're in the chair and you can have foot movement while you're in the chair. Although some of the reviews said it was a bit disconcerting. Most said you get used to it, but the idea that to walk, you tilt your feet rather than move your feet. But go figure. Anyway, nice little toy for some, I guess. Let me head back to a white screen. No, there we are. Right. Um, okay. Three other posts here, which I can't really. You'll have to grab from the thing. A camera that records real life scenes to design virtual worlds using a single device. This again was something on display at CES. HTC Vive Cosmos, a new thing launched by the Vive people, is not a successor to the original Vive. It's another thing, except it's not really another thing. I don't know what they mean by that. It's a sort of successor, but they're making a thing it's not. Okay, let's let that rest, shall we? And Audi puts VR in the back seat. That's another version of what we already mentioned. So, I've done it again. I need an operator for my screen display and a replacement for this thing called Windows, which really doesn't like it very much. There we go. Okay, back on track, I hope. Right through the sky and get fit on the fly with a Nordic track VR bike. This again, not new. This is a post at digitaltrends.com. Presumably something else that reared its head at CES. It's not new, but the ones I've heard about already are actually quite popular. You know, you have those exercise bikes if you've got room for them in a flat, and you can pretend you're actually, you know, cycling around the city to get exercise when in fact you're not moving, you're on the spot in your own room. But if you're wearing a visor that is linked to the bike, and the bike can be used as a kind of tread, you know, connect to the virtual world, then you know you can cycle through a forest for 3 hours and never leave your home, but get fit at the same time. So all very good. I like the idea of that, even if I still I wouldn't be able to stand 3 hours in a headset, but 3 hours on the bike I might manage, or I would have done once. Not going there. Right. Um, Study finds male and female students prefer different VI instructors. Now, this one is interesting. This is a post you'll find at VRScout or oneword.com. You may think it's anecdotal, and of course, a lot of these research things are. They've probably just found an excuse to cough up some research funds from somewhere and done the research. But the interesting thing is, it's not like female students like male tutors, and you know, male students like female tutors. Females like females, males like robots. And since male tutors don't really get a look in, which I think is rather interesting. Says something about does that say something about the future of education? I don't know, but
Mm.
anyway, if you're female, you want to be taught by another female. If you're male, you want to be taught by a robot. So goodbye, male teachers. Apparently, check out vlscout.com for a bit more on that particular research. Right, now, the Black Mirror. Yes, it's a show that takes hypothetical looks into the future of modern tech, and usually with a dark twist. Um, right. The thing I can't remember the name of was the latest one. It was a sort of standalone movie
The
that goes all over the
Bandersnatch.
place. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, and I watched it linear, and I couldn't. Well, obviously, I didn't get to see secret endings and all sorts of things that are built into it. Um, but Black Mirror, I haven't actually caught up with all the shows. I've got them on disc, but I haven't caught up with them yet. So there was actually an episode called Play. Yeah, playtest. I'm just loading this link now to see if I get any more of the thing. Anyway, there is a device come along called the Tesla suit. Um, I don't think I don't think it comes from Tesla. I think it's just called a Tesla suit. Um, Basically, using electrotactile haptic feedback, the Tesla suit can mimic sensations like bumping into a wall, touching an object, or the impact of a punch. And at CES, of course, the Digital Trends who are reporting here witnessed it firsthand. From the prickly patter of raindrops to growing waves of static, we've experienced how Tesla Suit can bring virtual worlds to life. And yep, there's a nice little diagram there of all the points, the sort of motion capture style. Yeah, I'll leave you to read up on that. Um, I think the that was the playtest, the TV show. Yeah, he announced a job as a tester in a game that specializes in survival holograms and warps his reality and becomes the most terrifying experience possible. And they're actually claiming that this Tesla suit might be that very nightmare come true. So, yep, if you're a fan of Black Mirror, you don't want to buy this. If you've never heard of Black Mirror, you can follow the ads and buy it. I
Okay.
don't know. Oh, I'm so cheeky, aren't I? Right. The best VR headsets at CES 2019 could bring technology to the mainstream. Well, they always say that. Digitaltrends.com again, same site. Um, at some point, we'll have to stop calling virtual reality a nascent technology because all this stuff has now been on the market for years. But quite frankly, it still hasn't gone mainstream in I don't know where it ever will in the form we've got at the moment until we get more of the actual glasses along instead of headsets. You know, it's taken off with gamers, but it's probably reached saturation point now. It is certainly taken off in industry where various, you know, high-end headsets have been selling in industry in sort of scenarios where they're becoming very useful, mostly to visualize the microscopic in, be able to walk through the inside of a human body or, microcircuitry, stuff you can't, you just can't do without virtual reality, basically. But, there is the mainstream. And quite frankly, there have been a few things about this new Oculus thing that's coming along, whose name I keep forgetting. Not
The
Oculus Go, but the
Quest, I
new one.
believe.
That's it, Oculus Quest saying this will be the killer thing. This will be make the mainstream take notice. And my prediction is bullshit. It won't. It will make an impact like Oculus Go because it'd be better than Oculus Go and won't be tethered like the regular Oculus. But I don't think it would make that bigger impact. I mean, people are happy with the normal Oculus if they're sitting at a desk, presumably, or just want to stand up. And Oculus Go is useful if you want something untethered. But how many people really have enough room to wander around? I mean, it's okay getting the Tesla suit because then when you hit a wall and whack yourself, you'll know about it. But if you're wearing a headset and don't see the wall coming and whack, but yeah, it's like I suppose you can think of it like a motorcycle helmet. If you're wearing a headset, you've got a bit of head protection, haven't you? But anyway, that's the bright side to everything, really, when you actually consider it, isn't there? Okay,
Okay.
moving on. A conference room full of holograms is the future of work. This is Engadget.com again. Nicole Lee talking. Um, sure, you can play immersive games and watch whales come out of the floor with Magic Leap, but a potential use for AR is teleconferencing and work collaboration. So they're looking at the very serious side of this, and basically they're talking about work collaboration, and this is mysterious. They then say work collaboration is mostly done these days via avatars. Well, I didn't think we won that battle yet, but
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
But at CES, a small startup called Mimesis is showing off a way to do it via live volumetric video capture, i.e. holograms. And of course, if it works for the future of work or conferencing or whatever, it will ultimately represent a facet of working in virtual worlds, where if you've got a living hologram using volumetric capture, if remember that word, if you don't need an avatar, then do you? But how far this is, I don't know. Uh, of course, if I have to do this newscast as a volumetric thingy, um, I'll have to be careful. I'll have to preen myself and, have a shave and all those horrible things
Or at
don't need
least
to do at
watch
the
your hand
moment.
gestures.
Oh yes, exactly. Watch my hand gestures and my little eye twitches and my snivels of my nose and the tooth that currently isn't there.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I prefer the avatars any day. Oh, by the way, apologies for that my mouth is not moving this week. A service we use on our grid here called Vvox is temporarily moving to new servers, and they have advised us there are some hiccups while that's going on. And while that's going on, it basically puts an invisible bit of sticky tape over my mouth, and it stops me quacking, flapping at you. And yeah, nothing I can do about it until they move the server, if you see what I mean.
Hmm.
So, no lip sync for you today, folks. I should have put a gas mask on or something to hide the fact my lips aren't moving. Or a hand microphone that I'd actually stick right up to my mouth so that it obscures the movements. Yes, yes, yes. Everything for over immersion. We're talking there, aren't we? Really, anyway.
Mm.
Right. So, conference room of holograms, read about it at engadget.com. Cyber Shoes VR. Okay, this is at digitalbodies.net. Emery Craig writing. The Cyber Shoes VR peripheral is an intriguing virtual reality enhancement. Also, at guess where? CES 2019. A device you can strap on your shoes, brackets one size fits all, and off you go. Now, I don't know about that. Whenever I've come across a footwear that says one size fits all, I usually end up putting it on and then tripping over myself.
Mm.
One size does not normally fit all. But anyway, they claim this one does. So you'll find that at post about that is at digitalbodies.net. Also, Digital Bodies, same old Amy Craig. TP Cast, a wireless solution for VR headsets at CES 19. The idea here, I think, is you can take something like a tethered headset and untether it by using TP Cast wireless solution. I read up on this and I couldn't remember finding out or not whether this is TP Cast is anything to do with TP Link, who make a lot of TP stuff. I got the impression it was something else and just had the same sort of name. Unfortunately, but anyway, the idea is to turn the wires into wireless, which I suppose in some cases is better than buying an all new wireless kit, if you see what I mean. Okay, now why Oculus Quest is exactly what VR needs. Well, I did warn you earlier that they're hyping this as the final solution. um, okay, this is at uploadvr.com, and they do stress that this is an editorial piece and that the opinions are the authors, not the opinions of Upload VR itself. So I don't seem to recall anything particularly contentious about it, but anyway, an editorial piece from somebody called David Heaney, who believes that Oculus Quest is the life, the universe, and everything, presumably. Right, moving on. All right, page one. Unity. Right, a wonderful platform for authoring games. Improbable, a wonderful backbone for games, and it can be shared. And there's been an improbable SDK for Unity, and also Epic Games, another ecosystem. Epic Games and Improbable have together set up a $25 million fund to help developers switch to more open engines, services, and ecosystems. Um, Unity, Improbable, and Epic Games have been wrapped up in a bizarre and unnecessary public dispute about the terms of the service and the future of games that run on the much hyped Improbable platform called Spatial OS. And a big quarrel started, well, this morning was 2 days ago, a couple of days ago, when the Improbable blog post came up with Unity's block of Spatial OS. And it seems that Unity, everybody's apparently favourite, page makeup for worlds, if that's the right expression, has suddenly blocked the Spatial OS SDK because the license for creating games using Unity does not include cloud-based server platforms. Which you have to pay for to develop in Unity if you want to deploy professionally in cloud-based server platforms. And because Improbable's whole platform is cloud-based platform, then Unity apparently has sort of decided that no, the plugin to author in Improbable or Spatial OS can't be used anymore. So anyway, the four-letter word is flying in all directions, basically, and it's been done in a very public way, which I think is the thing that's upsetting people more than the actual fact it's going on. It's the fact that they're washing severely dirty laundry in public. In fact, they're not really washing it, they're just hurling it around. So, enough of that, enough of that. You can find out more from Nick Summers. That's engadget.com, Engadget. And that particular post is actually 2 days old now, but I suspect the wars are still happening. Right. Introspection in the virtual. Right. This is an article at medium.com. And it's about an artist called Isaac Cohen who is creating sort of artworks in virtuality. I thought they were rather fascinating and stuff, which is why I posted that one. You'll have to go to medium.com and look at the recent articles and look for something called Introspection in the Virtual. Right, doctors are using VR to study 3D models of tumours. This was one that got a lot of retweets, oddly enough, interestingly. And once again, I don't have a direct link for this. I'm going to click on it while we still have time to see if I can figure out where it is in the absence of a. Oh, yes, it's at vrscout.com, so it's clearly not loading, but I will. You'll find that doctors are using VR to study 3D models of tumours at vrscout.com. Right. Okay, another post at medium.com, which was just a day ago, yesterday, I guess, is making noise in VR. And this is actually a BBC virtual reality experience that you, I think it's a refugee sort of thing. The idea is they get you to walk a certain distance in VR. This is Alice Bonasio writing, by the way, Medium. Um, That's it. You're going to be walking in the shoes of the suffragettes. The suffragettes, of course, were the early women's movement around the turn of the century, not to be confused with the 1960s one. Um, they got there first at the turn of the century, I have you know. Right. Basically, you're going to be walking a mile in the shoes of the suffragettes, and you're going to be doing it in virtuality and finding your voice making a difference. And presumably, like many of these things, um, um, I've known the racial equivalents of this, where sort of they stick you in a middle American, very Caucasian neighborhood, and you walk down the street as a black person and you experience in virtuality. There's some of the more, even if it's not direct racism, it's like subtle things that make you uncomfortable with yourself. And I think this is very much the same with the turn of the century type atmosphere where, the suffragettes who would walk down the street with just a placard, saying votes for women and things like that, would sometimes be just the police of the day would sometimes just descend on them and kick the hell out of them. So 20 male police constables kicking hell out of a single woman with a placard.
Mm.
It was not fun. So the BBC are sort of going back here a bit and trying to put you in the shoes of suffragette and of course a time warp really to that time. Okay, so final thing here we go was from today. Let me see, 6 hours ago, and again, this doesn't say where it is, so I'm going to open it. It's another announcement from CES. And it's called Meet Addison, a full-time virtual caregiver. Here we are. We're at VR Scout yet again. It's funny, they normally give me links, but maybe I pressed the wrong button. And my time limit is running out. I've got 10 minutes to continue sharing my screen. Gosh golly, I'm cheapskate, I don't pay for it. It's very expensive to do this if you want more than half an hour. Right. Developed by Electronic Caregiver, same day security, Anderson Care converts your home into a full time healthcare centre through its use of Anderson Rose, a brand new voice based virtual assistant that employs a combination of artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and comfortable care to her patients. So if you imagine a combination of Alexa or maybe Google and a television screen and virtual reality and everything, so that you can just sit and sort of rot away in an armchair or something and have all your care delivered electronically.
Mm.
Of course, one assumes that somebody at the other end is monitoring all this and can actually send your medicines around to you and stuff like that. But anyway, Addison, the full-time virtual caregiver, has been advertised this one. And Addison Care do apparently powered by Amazon Web Services, of course. They do appear to be, well, this is American, so I guess everything in America is private healthcare by and large. This is certainly not something that's on the National Health Service here as yet. Let me put it that way. Right, okay, flip back. That's all we had on the Malbones feed. As I said, there are quite a lot this week, and may have been quite a few others too, as a result of the CES Consumer Electronics show in wherever it was. USA anyway. Right, in the Metaworld news feed, a couple of things here. Kitely.com on their blog. They've introducing the biggest addition to Gately since the market, and they're launching something called organizations, which are a way to create a virtual grid inside Kitely. I think they're sort of competing, although on a commercial level, with the kind of thing Third is doing with Outworlds here. The idea is, you don't just get a site on Kitely, you literally get your own sort of grid, but they run it for you inside the Kitely engine kind of thing. And yeah, we read all. You can read more about that at kitely.com. And also another headline. This one actually leads to hypergridbusiness.com. You can find an article saying high fidelity pilots. Oops, sorry. Okay, I've got the Kitely blog there that I've just mentioned. There is, if you go to hypergridbusiness.com, I don't seem to have it here, but there is Hypergrid Business, their take on what Kitely are doing as well. Okay, now High Fidelity, another virtual world, which is flying ahead wonderfully. They're piloting high fidelity currency, HFC, and Ethereum trading. This means that not only have you got, yeah, high fidelity color is currency is 100 HFC is $1, um, and is pegged to the US dollar. Ethereum is a flexible currency. So the exchange rate between high fidelity currency and Ethereum will vary, even though it doesn't vary to the US dollar, if you see what I mean. But you can actively convert Ethereum coin into HFC and vice versa, as an alternative way of getting money in or out, kind of thing. High Fidelity are very keen on all this blockchain type stuff. I can't say that I personally am. Right. Also, Metaworld. I post some Hamlet Tools blog, New World Notes, nwn.blogs.com. Sansar's reviews on Steam have been decidedly mixed 1 month after they joined. Some people hate it, other people say, oh, could maybe be something someday kind of thing. Hardly the height of success. And whether moving to a gaming platform is exactly the right tactic for Sansar, which is like experience based. I don't know. Okay, Hacktivist Group launches OpenSim Grid. I think this Anon Grid, I think you'll find this post leads to Hypergrid Business. I'm not going to click through because I have limited time on the screen display here. Also, there's a video here. Watch virtual reality version of Second Life of Firestorm and Steam VR with open source code. Basically, somebody has built a version of the Second Life viewer, or rather the Firestorm viewer, that now actually works in with virtuality and with both. You can choose between Firestorm or the Steam engine, and the code has been open source in insofar, of course, as you can open source anything to do with Linden Labs. Apparently, it's not complete, but apparently most people can use it adequately. Second Life was never built to be for a 3D viewer. 15 years ago, they didn't have them. So it's always going to be a compromise, but apparently this has been sort of extremely well coded, and people are enthusing about it. So if you have a helmet or want to go into Second Life with Firestorm or Steam, you can actually do it. And that seems to be it. And I don't think my time has run out yet, but I'm sure it will do any second now. So here is an invitation for James to kill the video feed to to the display system. Right, where are we? In fact, while he's doing it, I'm also going to ask for James's thoughts on all that, because that is this week's news, basically.
Um,
James.
the Vuzix glasses, and we talked about that last week, and I thought I
Yeah.
saw a story from CES about another, um, more stylish pair of glasses that I know is your preference, but I'm not recalling the name right now.
Um, now that's a good point. I
Yeah,
think we may be talking about the same thing. I think the one I covered last week may have actually reappeared at CES as a launch kind of thing. Um,
maybe so. Yeah,
I think so. As far as I know, the only thing, the Magic Leap's the only thing that looks vaguely like that at the moment, than the one we were talking about,
right.
which I was very, very keen on. I suddenly seem to remember in this week seeing a post. And if it wasn't in my list there, then all I can suppose was that it was just a rehash of news we knew already.
Yep.
What I read out here and what you see in Flipboard are very much highlights. So I do, and there's also a lot of retweets and things I do that don't always appear in what we're covering here. So actually, it's a good reminder for people to go to twitter.com/Malbones or twitter.com/Metaworld News
That's
if
right.
you want that too, and check out these because there's far more than we can fit into a news program where we're just covering highlights every week and have a limited 30 minutes to show our wares
Oh yeah.
on the thing me jig. Yeah, we'll do some work on that too. I did see some passing notes and things saying that people out there are actually quite liking the idea that we're sharing these web pages and stuff as we go along. So
Oh, good, good.
we're gonna continue with that
Yeah, it's
until
nice to see that.
until I see. Yeah, until I see a lot of people saying, "Hey, no, we want to see more of your mugshot."
Right. Especially with the lips not moving.
Yeah, with the lips not moving, the more the merrier to cover it up, really.
Right. Right.
I bet maybe I can, I don't know, find something in World that I can wear as a mask over my lips and it makes it, like a black rectangle censored.
Ah.
That way, people think my lips are flapping underneath, but the words have been censored by
Right. Right.
Metaworld Broadcasting, which would be rather an odd situation, but never mind. Yes, there you go. I shall censor myself. Yeah. Anybody else ever done that? Censored yourself? Or maybe
Oh,
after the watershed, before the watershed, you censor
all the
yourself, don't you?
time. All the time.
Yeah, because yeah, before the watershed, you tame your language so kids don't hear you being
Right.
real.
Right.
And after the watershed, you don't censor your language. The kids are all to be asleep, and it's time for you to get real. And four letter, word,
Right.
etc.
Right.
Four-letter wording. Yes, wonderful hobby. Can't remember any four-letter words anymore.
Just as well.
Well, half of them don't seem to count anymore. It's actually the weird thing. That's called time passing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What used to be unacceptable is now in the dictionary. Fair enough. Right. Okay. Well, I think that's it for this week. We'll be back same time, same place next week. We will also be having an edition, if all goes well, of the InWorld Review next week. We'll be talking to Bill Blight, probably Leighton Marjoram, and maybe others, and having a look at the upcoming. OpenSim Fest, which happens on the 1st to the 3rd of March this year. So it's not that much more than a month away. Amazing how time flies, even when it's a new year already. Right. Okay. So for now, it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
And I got that wrong, didn't I?
It's all right. It works.
It was. Yes. Goodbye from both of us. Until next week. Have a good one.